Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is Palace of the Core and my name is Stephen Dawes. So we had the game against Leicester City and I'm going to go through it with you. The team was pretty much what we intend to expect now in the Premier League. We had Hughes back in the middle, which was fantastic to see, and we had all the players back from their bout of flu that they had, so that was good to see as well. And we had Chris Richards in for Trevor Chalobah, who obviously went back to Chelsea. So it was a fairly settled side. But however, the first half for me wasn't really what we're used to in terms of the last few games. We were a little bit slow. We were a little slow like we were against Stockport in that first half. Wasn't quite as bad in terms of passing back and back and back, but we just didn't quite have the impetus to go forward. And Leicester City actually had a couple of really good opportunities, especially with Vardy. You know, he had a couple of decent opportunities to get the scoreline in front. And I think, you know, trying to look at it objectively, I think that we were lucky not to concede a goal in that first half, really. But anyway, so we looked a little bit lackluster, and although we were trying really hard, and you know, we were trying to work angles and work the ball around and things like that, and we're trying to do what we were supposed to be doing, I did feel we were a little bit laboured in terms of some of our passing, and some of it did go a little bit awry as well, which is a bit of a shame. Now, obviously, to Leicester's credit, they did try to make things difficult for us. Certainly in the first half, I think Daniel Munoz didn't have much luck down that right hand side. You know, normally he's bombing up and down and putting things in, and he did do that to some extent, but he was also being hounded off the ball a lot down that right hand side. So I think they were kind of aware of him as an outlet, and they were trying to stop that, which they did, I think, for a fair amount of time in that first half. I think that when you look at it on balance, I think, you know, I think Leicester probably had the best of it in that first half, and we were kind of had our little spells, but we also had spells where Leicester were, you know, coming at us and trying to work things into the box and stuff like that. Not that Henderson had to make any amazing saves in that first half, but well, apart from one that he had to for Vardy, which was low down, which I guess on another day Vardy would probably have tucked away quite nicely, but he actually hit it straight at Henderson, so that was a bit of luck for us. But yeah, so apart from that, I felt that we didn't really create a huge amount in the first half. And it was interesting that when there was a break for Jefferson Lerma, who I'll come to in a second, you could see Gahey was quite animated at Oliver Glasner. I don't think he was happy with how things were going. And Glasner was talking to him. It wasn't an argument, but it was an animated discussion, and I think that they were between them aware that things weren't working. And indeed, we saw a little bit later on Gay have a go at Tyrick Mitchell for not being in the right position. So you could see that, you know, there was something not quite working there, and Gahey was in particular was aware of it. In terms of Lerma, he only lasted a little while in the first half, and then he had to go off because he wasn't feeling well. So I think it's the attack of the flu again for him anyway. He was replaced by Decore, who played well. You know, he had a good game. Again, I don't think he's quite up to speed yet. I think he needs to get a little bit fitter, but he put in some good challenges, and he was working well with Hughes in the middle there, and it was good to see again. Good to see those two back together. So yeah, so that's how the first half went, really. A little bit not quite living up to our potential, how we can usually play, a little bit too slow. Second half, and both teams came out a little bit brighter. I felt that Leicester were a little bit more on the front foot again, trying to get their goal, and we came out and played a lot better. I felt that we were a lot, you know, a little bit quicker in the passing. When we were looking to go forward a little bit quicker, you know, we were still doing the backward passes occasionally, but we seemed to be a little bit more of an effort on going forward, shall we say? And I think it paid off, because certainly the first goal from JP Mateta, a lovely little ball from Sarr down through the lines, and JP went the long way round his defender. I don't know how he managed it, but he went the long way round, got onto the ball, rounded the keeper, and a lovely little tap into the back of the net. So that was a nice little goal. And I noticed a couple of times Sarr making some really nice little passes. I'm really, you know, he's really coming on as a player for us. You know, not only is he scoring the odd goal here and there, but he's passing, and he's looking for balls is really good. I think he's a really good player actually in that sense of the word. He can find a pass, and it was a lovely weighted pass as well. So that made it 1-0. And of course Leicester was trying to get back in the game at that point, and they were trying to cause us problems as well. And I felt that we worked really hard in defence again to try and stop that from happening. I don't think we gave them any huge chances in the second half, but we were working hard. I think we were doing a really good job. And then later on in the second half, Gahey got a goal as well. It was a little chip in from Eze, and he got it on the back, sort of side-footed it into the back of the goal. Actually a little bit of a striker's goal. So he's obviously been practicing those. But yeah, that was a great goal for him to get as well, and it was a lot of passion in front of the fans as well, which was good to see. So that made it 2-0, and then it kind of got a little bit scrappy, and and Leicester City were trying to get back into it, obviously trying to force their way forward and things like that. But I felt that we defended quite well, and actually did a good job in the end, and that's how it ended up as 2-0, which is something which I felt was a hard game, and I expected a hard game, but again I felt we perhaps made it a little bit too hard on ourselves, or made it a little bit too difficult for ourselves. But certainly in the first half anyway. But it was a good result. It was 3 points and 2 goals, and that was a good little thing. I felt that JP worked hard again. I think we tend to be a little bit better when we have him as a target man to feed off and to hold up the ball and pass it and things like that, and to run onto balls. I thought that he was quite good at that. He had a good opportunity in the first half, but was offside. So I felt that he worked really hard, and I felt the rest of the players worked really hard, as I said before. Later on in the second half, Hughes went off because Oliver Glasner said that he wasn't really fit enough to play a whole 90 minutes, and Kamada came on, who again played some nice balls occasionally, a couple of nice little passes, again gave the ball away a few times as well, and not that I'm being overly critical of him, but I felt that he wasn't quite as tenacious and closing down as some of the other players were, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I mean, he didn't have a bad game necessarily. He just, again, didn't really do a huge amount. I felt that it was good to see players coming on and doing a good job for us. Eddie Nketiah came on for JP, and again he had a half chance which hit a player, but he didn't really do a huge amount again. So I'm feeling a bit sorry for Eddie Nketiah, because I think that maybe if he got more game time, we might see more from him. But I think with JP being in the form he's in, I think that he's always going to be the one they're going to choose above Nketiah, which is a bit of a shame, but I think that's just the way it is at the moment. So overall, I thought it was a good result for us, obviously, to get the 3 points. And I think that perhaps on another day, maybe with Leicester with a bit more confidence, that we might have had a bit more of a fight on our hands. But anyway, I'm going to take the 3 points, and I'm going to run with it. So I really hope you let me know down in the comment section what you thought of the game, whether you agree with my assessment or not. And we go onwards and upwards to the next game, which is at the weekend, so they're coming thick and fast. And that's about it from me, and I will see you next time.